Hello, hello. Ash Playsted, your host of the Whisky Business Show. I have given up trying to remember which episode I'm up to. I don't think we'll worry about that anymore. It's just the next episode of the Whisky Business Show. So, wherever you are in the world, welcome. I hope you're taking the opportunity to enjoy a dram of fine single malt whiskey, as well as building a valuable business. Now, today, I want to talk about a couple of things: a fabulous distillery, fabulous whiskey, and its connection to business and life. I'll explain that more in a moment. But let's initially start with the distillery, then I'll move on to the whiskey, then we'll talk a little bit about the connection with good business and good living. So I want to talk about Glendronach. This is a fabulous distillery, particularly famed for its sherried single malt whiskey. It immediately springs to my mind, and that's probably because I had the good fortune of visiting the distillery last year. It's about 30 minutes out of Dufftown up in Speyside, Scotland. Dufftown being the self-anointed capital of whiskey in the world. It's a beautiful distillery with a long unpaved road lined with trees, which leads down to the still house. Through the windows, you can see this sort of saxophone-shaped spirit stills. And even the warehouse's grey stone walls have been blackened with time and probably a fair dose of the angel's share. The window frames are painted red and a stream runs through the distillery. You might even see a sheep or two as well. Now, this distillery holds a great reputation. It is one of the oldest distilling licenses in Scotland, and it's just gone undergone a refresh on its packaging, along with picking up a new tagline, I guess, which they call raising expectations. And their head distiller, their master blender, the famous Dr. Rachel Barry, has created some outstanding whiskies. So that's my visit to the distillery. Fabulous distillery. If you get to Dufftown, that area of Scotland, out of the, I don't know, 30 or 40 distilleries within an hour, definitely include a Glendronach on your must-see list. Now, the distillery itself was founded by a chap named James Allardyce in 1826, so that makes it 199 years old. And it's found, as I said, in the highlands in the valley of the Forg, Aberdeenshire. Now, the name Glendronach is derived from the Gaelic for Valley of the Brambles. And as I said, the whiskey from here is known as something of a sherry bomb, thanks to its exclusive maturation in sherry casks. Now, as I said, Glendronach was granted one of the earliest licenses for distilling in 1826, was founded by James Allardyce and a bunch of local farmers. It was then bought by Walter Scott in 1830, and by 1862 had become the largest duty-paying distillery in the Highlands. The distillery was subsequently bought by Charles Grant, a famous name in whiskey, before being then further sold in 1960 to William Teacher and Sons, and doubling their stills from 2 to 4. It then had changed hands yet again in 1976, when Allied Distillers bought the Glendronach, who later then mothballed the distillery in 1996. The Glendronach then resumed distilling in 2002, and by 2005 had been acquired by the massive European beverages organisation Pernod Ricard. And then they on-sold it to the Benriach Distilling Company. Benriach is a wonderful distillery who bought it in 2008 and then subsequently launched their 12, 15 and 18-year-old expressions for the first time in 2009. And this is now the distillery, including the Benriach Distilling Company, is owned by Brown Forman since 2016. And that's the time at which Rachel Barry becomes the master blender. Now, let's move on to the whiskey itself. So I want to reach behind me and grab my bottle. here we go. Now, hopefully you can see that okay. So this is the Glendronach's Sherry Cask Matured 18-year-old. Beautiful, beautiful bottle. I hope you're getting a good look at that on the screen. Um, I would describe it as bronze or even antique bronze in colour with a tan hue. On the nose, it's deep aromatics of fudge and dark sugar. Fruit compote and morello cherries provide added layers of complexity. Now, on the palate, and as you can see, I've drunk some of this one, it's rich, dark, and seductive. And it really has remarkable flavours of stewed fruits and allspice, which marry together with classical aged Oloroso and toasted walnut bread and chocolate orange. So it's really a medium intensity whiskey that I think is really satisfying, really complex, and leaves you wanting another sip. I would use this as an after dinner whiskey. Perfect for sitting around on the couch or the open fire after you've had your dinner and you're opining on the affairs of the world. This is the perfect whiskey to accompany that sort of conversation in good company. Fabulous, fabulous Glendronach. Really love it. So we'll just put that over there at the moment. So, or maybe I'll keep it here. But I want to tell you a little bit about how this one came to be for me. So I bought this bottle on my travels, brought it home with me, and it was one of the bottles that I thought, you know what? I'm not going to open that one. I want to save that one for, an unknown, an unidentified future special event, right? Um, Look, this will cost you somewhere between $250 to $350. Pretty expensive, but it's worth it, depending on where you buy it. Okay, so I had purchased this one thinking I'm going to put this aside. But, recently, for a variety of reasons, I've come to the opinion that enjoy things in the present. Putting good things off to the future, yes, there is some merit in that. However, the future is unknown. Why not enjoy wonderful things in the present? This is a brilliant whiskey. My son and I decided to open it about a week ago and enjoyed a dram or two together. So I'm thinking, yes, I could put it off to a date in the future, but what event in life could be better than sitting down with my son and enjoying a dram or two and some conversation of this fabulous whiskey? So what does this mean in mortgage broking, in business, and in life? Well, I think as we build our businesses, we hustle, we work hard, we build them up, we get cash flow going, and they become a great cash flow business for most people. And for some people, they go on to build really valuable enterprises. But at their core, we build cash flow, we build lifestyle. That's why we get into business, to control our own destiny, to not be answerable to someone else, hopefully, and to be totally responsible for building the life and the business that we want. However, part of that often I think, and certainly I see this with working with many mortgage broker business owners over the years, is they work hard, they hustle, and part of it is I'm going to enjoy the spoils of this in the future. Yes, I've got decent cash flow to pay bills, to put my kids through school, to pay off the house, to do a bit of travel here and there. But really, when I ask them, well, what's the purpose of doing all of this? Where are you going with this? Well, it's generally about, well, at some point in the future, I'm going to really enjoy this fruits of my efforts. I'm going to get into philanthropy. I am going to start another business. I am going to travel the world, whatever it happens to be. And then the conversation turns to, well, why are you not enjoying those things now? What if something changed that meant you couldn't do those things? Would you regret it? And the answer is quite often, well, yeah. So this is then about, well, what's got to happen with you and your business in order for you to enjoy those future special events right now, living in the present moment. So this is really fundamental, I think, to having a purpose-driven business is, yes, it creates the vehicle for the future that you want, but it should also be the vehicle for the present life that you want to enjoy. And this is why having a business that ultimately works with or without you frees up a founder to explore other things in life. You still got the business, you still love it, you're still competitive, but you're not stuck inside the business. And I think this is really central to, the connection between my experience of bringing forward to the present the enjoyment of this fabulous whiskey, the Glendronach 18-year-old Sherry Cask matured. What if something happened? What if this sat on my shelf gathering dust forever and a day? I never got to enjoy it. What's the point of that? Great whiskey is meant to be enjoyed. Great businesses should provide you opportunities to enjoy life now as well as in the future. So, to me, the lesson here is yes, run your business. Yes, there's lots of factors at play, but central to that should be building a business that allows you lots of free time while still providing good cash flow to enjoy good things in life now, to be part of your children's lives, to contribute to society if you want to explore other things, whilst also being fulfilled by your business. That's really the message. I hope that resonates. I hope it makes sense. It certainly did for me. It's really what drove me and still drives me, as a business coach and mentor and strategist with my clients, is build a business that allows you to do all of these things with flexibility, but also filling up your bucket of competitive spirits, wealth creation, and a legacy business into the future. You still got to enjoy it in the present moment. That's the only place you can ever live life, is in the present. So I opened it, loved it, and will continue to love it. Have a fantastic week ahead, wherever you may be. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Whisky Business Show. Take care for now.